everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Welcome to video number 6, Sewing Your Rows Together. Now this is a really important part because it's important to learn the tricks that help all these seams line up and make a nice looking finished quilt. The first thing we're going to need to do is iron. So what I like to do is take my row over to the ironing board here, and I am going to iron from the top first like this, and make sure that my squares are pulled clear apart, that there's no little folds or pleats in here. I just kind of iron them from side to side so that I make sure that, you know, this is just nice and all laid flat. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to make my seams go all one direction. So these are already laying that way, so I'll let them lay that way. And in this one, all my seams are going this way. And so we just want to make sure that all your seams lay down and go that direction. And then for the next row, right here, we're going to bring this one over here and we're going to make sure the seams go the other way. So on this one, they're all going to go this way. And that will help our seams lay really nicely together. We like it when all of our seams lay nicely together. So now what we're going to do, we have our 2 rows ready to put together, and we're going to look at our thing to make sure that we have them right. Oh, and this one is turned. So I've got mine set up there. Make sure that's right. Yep, and this is how they go. We're going to put these are the right sides, both up, and we're going to lay them right sides together, just like this. Now you want to eyeball it and make sure your seams are laying nice. And I want to show you these seams right here, because when I say you want to nest your seams, it means that these seams are going to line up exactly with no room in between. You're going to have one seam, this part here, going to the left, one seam going to the right. You're going to feel it to make sure that it's just really tight on there, and then you can even peel these open right here and make sure they are smack up next to each other. You're then going to put a pin in there, and you want to do this, you want to pin at every place your seams come together. So we're going to put a pin in here just like this. And I've started mine in the middle there, and I'm going to come back here to this end, and I'm going to make sure mine are lined up, feel it so that no fabric is in between, and put a pin in each one of these junctures where the seams come together. You can't just assume they're going to match up either, because our seam allowances aren't perfect. So we just want to make sure that they're right up together, and that will make for a really nice quilt top. All your little pieces will come right together, and you'll be able to have nice corners where they meet. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch right down the side, right here. And we're just, again, going to take a few stitches, get our bearings, make sure our row is laid nicely out in front of us, and we're just going to sew down. And I'm going to stop as I get to a pin and pull that pin out. And because I put the head on the outside of the material, it's real handy to just pull that as you're sewing. Make sure everything stays in place. I'd way rather be safe than pick it out. So I try to make sure it stays really nice. So I want you guys to notice, right as I come up on the seam, I make sure that this one is going right under the edge of that foot, and I'll kind of push that under and sew over the top of that. And I do that on each seam, and that's going to make them lay really nice. All right, so now we're going to press this open, but first we're going to take a sneak peek and see how we did. All righty, so there's our little seams. And you can see right here, this one is just a little bit off. Now I have to decide if it bothers me enough to take it out or not. And you know what? It doesn't bother me enough to take that out. So, but that's personal for you. You have to decide, you know, how particular you are with those things. I think it looks fine. It's close enough. I am a motto of finished is better than perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press these open like this. Nice and open from the top. I kind of have a little thing on that. If it bothers me 3 times, I'll take it out. You know, if I look at it and my eye is drawn right to that 3 times, then that's it. I just take it out. But if I don't, you know, I think when you look at this, it's going to look great. So you're going to sew 3 sets of these together, 2, 4, 6, And then you have one more row that you add on. That's your 7th row. And then you're going to put your rows together to finish your whole top. Now I've already sewn my other rows together here. And so I am ready with this piece to add my pieces together. So let's see how this goes. Make sure I've got it in the right place. All right, I have this one right, but this one needs to be turned around. All right, so see how I've already sewn these together in sets of 2 to make the quilt top. Remember, it's 6 across by 7 down. And now this one right here, I'm going to lay on here and make sure that my seams are going to nest up, and we're again going to put pins in all those and sew our rows together, and that will finish our whole top. So now we're all pinned together. We're going to go to the sewing machine and sew that 1/4 inch, and our top is going to be complete. So once you've got all your rows sewn together, then you're going to come over here and you're going to press your top. You want to make sure that you have a nice flat quilt top, and we are just going to go ahead and press our top. So just press it out, make it look really pretty, and then your little top is done and we are ready to add the borders. Isn't this darling? So join us in the next video for adding your borders.